Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning and Merry Christmas Eve to everyone watching. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Hopefully it's joyous and safe.
So,
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I realize they didn't play last night, but how about them Cowboys? We just clinched a playoff berth before Christmas. Merry Christmas to us. And Merry Christmas to you, Shannon.
I want you to keep that energy.
You're going to have a really unhappy New Year.
Hold on. 3 weeks. I want you to keep that same energy in about 3 weeks, okay? I want that same energy now.
Yeah, I got it. You know what? My energy is going to skyrocket towards SoFi. That's what it's going to skyrocket to.
It was going to be a Merry Christmas, and now you just ruined Christmas.
It was going to be. That is a big smile on Skip's face this morning. Oh, and the reason, of course, yes, let's discuss it, guys. Skip's Cowboys got an early Christmas gift from the Titans last night after Tennessee beat San Francisco. Dallas officially clinched its first playoff berth since the 2018 season. The Cowboys still have eyes on an NFC East title, which they could get as early as this weekend. So, Shannon, how far do you see them going in the playoffs?
Right there. See him going right there.
Right there?
Right where?
Yeah, you're.
Oh, well, we're here in L.A., so you got them going all the way to SoFi. Interesting. Thank you.
You clinched the playoff spot.
Yes, we did.
Which means you're probably going to win the division on Sunday.
We almost certainly
okay, now look at you, almost certain. You're one and done. You know that.
I don't know that.
You do know that.
You know what? In your heart of hearts, you're lying to yourself.
No.
I know you know.
No. What you know, you're one and done, but you and everybody else, Dak's going to come around. Dak's going to do this. We're going to talk about this a little later. But I'm just basing it on what I've seen. What I've seen through Dak Prescott's history is he's done this. 17, 18, 19, he got injured, but he wasn't playing particularly well, Skip. He's having to do heroics just to get his team back in the ball game, and they lost a couple of those ball games. Look, I get it. I believe the offense is overvalued. Your three top receivers have not lived up to the billing that you and Pro Football Focus said. If I'm not mistaken, they were either 1 or the 2 rated receivers in all of football.
Correct.
Have they looked like that this year? You're going to say, well, at time, CD, we just did a topic on CD the other day about all them drops he got. And he hasn't lived up to what Skip Bayless had believed he was going to be thus far, which is better than Justin Jefferson. That hadn't been the case. Amari, what am I supposed to do with 2 for 28? I'm supposed to do something with that?
Okay, but those were road Amaris, right? At least I got a home playoff game coming. I think we got to clinch these.
I don't know if you noticed the last couple of home games, he hadn't been very good either.
Well, I told you CD was going to take over as the number one, and he has.
No, he hasn't.
It might be CD, Gallup number 2, Amari number 3, and I'll take that because that means our 3 is better than a lot of 1s.
Well, but your 1 is not better than a lot of 1s. But back to my originally scheduled program. Your offensive line, Skip, look. Tyron Smith made the Pro Bowl, but he's been in and out of the lineup. He's been nicked. I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday. He might play, might not. The best offensive lineman has been very good. That's Zach Martin. But your most important one, you know that, is that left tackle. And if he gets nicked, and if he plays like he's been playing, because he played one game and then he's going to be out at some point in time to that game, he's going to miss the next game. You guys are done. You don't run the football. The first 5 weeks, you love your running team. Oh, we running the football. We number 2. We number this in rushing the football. You haven't been able to run the football like you did the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season since. You know that. I know that. Look at Zeke. That's the old Zeke. Man, Zeke had 40-something yards on 13, 14 carries, and you talking about that's the old Zeke. Average 2.6 yards a carry outside of that 13-yard TD run. Yes, Tony Pollard can give you a few splash plays, but you're not going to get it. Your defense has been outstanding. Your defense has been better than I thought they would be, but you've been feasting on those turnovers. The guys that you play in the playoffs, they don't turn it over like that, especially that guy up in Lambeau, MVP, and the other guy down in he started turning over late, but come playoff time, he don't normally turn it over. You're one and done, Skip. I want you to enjoy this moment. I want you to enjoy this Christmas. because you got an early gift. The 49ers and Jimmy G, I'm mad at him, laid an egg last night because they had a golden opportunity and they should have put the nail in the coffin early in that ball game. You know that, I know that. But leave it to Jimmy G to do what he does.
Yep.
But you're one and done.
Somebody who's in the Hall of Fame kept telling me over the last couple of weeks, beware of the 49ers. Here they come. They might just wind up in Dallas for that first playoff game.
They still might.
Good. Bring them on. I want me some of Jimmy G.
You don't want on the Debo. You saw what Debo doing.
Debo is a force. I will give you that. So is CeeDee Lamb. I think CD equals Debo.
No.
Yes, sir.
Can't do it,
yes, sir. Is it finally my turn?
Go over there and gloat. I know you want to gloat.
It is my turn because this is my day to say what I believe about my Dallas Cowboys. Merry Christmas to us. I believe that my team, as I am filled with the Christmas spirit, I believe that my team will win at least 2 playoff games.
What?
1 home, 1 away. I like my team away more than I like them even at home. I will not at all be shocked if this team wins 3 playoff games to get to the game out here in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. You and I will be there in the front row.
No.
Yes.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
We will be joined at the hip that whole week as we in Cowboy Nation celebrate your demise. That is upcoming. Stay tuned. What did I tell you about this team starting in training camp? I first guessed it. There's just something about this team. Something different. Yeah. Dare I go all the way to something special? We haven't seen special yet, but exactly. I think special has high potential in the next few weeks. And if they reach their potential, you're going to be in big trouble because I don't see any team in this league right now have the firepower on both sides of the ball, which when manifested, if they both hit on all cylinders on the same day or days, as in playoff days, you're in big trouble because it's there right before your very eyes.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly before you go any further. You're saying if the Cowboys played their best football and the Packers, the Bucks, and the Rams played their best football on the exact same day at the exact same time and they're playing each other, you believe your team is better. Your team, the Cowboys, are better than the Bucks, Rams, and Packers if everybody plays their best.
That's what I just said.
You out your mind.
What did you see on opening Thursday night at GOAT?
A loss.
I saw a loss because the GOAT had to GOAT it. In the last 124, it required another 60-yard game-winning field goal walk-off drive.
Think about this. They gave you 4 turnovers, and they still beat you.
That's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. They're coming off defending their championship at home on solo stage Thursday night. And I sat back in awe of my team, and I came right in here the next day, and I said, Shannon Sharpe, that's a moral victory if ever there was such a thing in professional sports. That was one, because my team announced its presence against the greatest player who ever played in your sport. And you saw it right before your very eyes because they had every chance to win. And Dak drove them 70 yards for what looked like could be the game-winning field goal. Unfortunately, he left a minute and 24 seconds for that guy. So my point is this. I'm seeing something different in swagger. When my team walks on the football field, they look different to me than they've looked, dare I say, since the 90s. Since the 90s dynasty, I have not seen such swagger from my team, especially on defense. And I'm just about ready to make the case that my defense, because of one man and one man only, is going to be, before this is all said and done this season, is going to be even better on defense than the 1992 Cowboys or the 1993 Cowboys, both of which won the Super Bowl. If you go back and look hard at those defenses and you look at what this defense can do, I think edge to this year's defense over those two. I can't go to 95 because, you know, one of your closest friends happened to come from San Francisco over to Dallas after he had helped San Francisco get over the top against Dallas. Your man, Deion Sanders, said, thank you, Jerry. I'll take your whatever it was, $1 billion. It was a lot of money for that time. Did they overpay him? Nope, they did not, because he became the catalyst, the reason, the difference maker for the 95 Cowboys to get back over the top on the 49ers and win that Super Bowl. So I don't have a Dion. I got a Trevon, but I don't have a Dion because nobody's ever had a Dion. Right. So I'll give you that one. But look at 92 and 93. You can say, well, those offenses won. Okay, I'll give you that. They were really good really good. Yeah. Better than this team clearly is on offense, but not on defense. We are tied for the NFL lead in takeaways. That works in the postseason. Yeah. You know it, and I know it, okay? It's contagious, and we've gone 3 straight games with 4 turnovers created. Wow. We are number 1 in the league in interceptions. It's contagious. I love Trevon Diggs, and all of a sudden, he's starting to rub off on everybody else, from Jordan Lewis to Anthony Brown to Malik Hooker.
But you're getting turnovers, but what are you also doing on offense?
Okay, well, I'm about to get there, but I got to finish on defense because I give it up to you. You saw it coming before I did, but 11 fell right out of heaven, right into our laps. I don't think Jerry saw it. I don't think Mike McCarthy, please drop the mic and get out of the way, McCarthy. I don't think any of them really saw what was about to happen because they wanted a corner. I badly wanted Patrick Surtain, and he should have made the Pro Bowl for your Denver Broncos. He's a stud. He's going to be a stud for 15 years in this league. But he ain't no Micah.
No.
Micah Parsons has changed the way they play defense because they look around on the first snap of the game and they think, we got that guy, and they don't. He is changing everything on defense, even though he is being criminally underutilized. Now, I'm going to throw that stat at you again I threw out yesterday. He's played 791 snaps. Only 267 times has he been allowed to rush the passer. Okay. He's the inside linebacker by position.
But Skip, if you average it out...
By the way, that's 34% of the snaps he's rushed the passer. 34%?
Those 791, those are all the snaps. So those are running everything.
I got it.
But he's still rushing 20 times a game.
Okay, I get you, but he's not rushing the way Lawrence Taylor used to rush the passer. And by the way, when I look hard at Defensive Player of the Year, not Rookie of the Year, I'm still thinking, I'm hanging in, that you could give an edge to Micah, not statistically, but in overall value impact.
No, I think TJ, because they haven't won a game when he doesn't play.
Okay, but I get it. He's got a shot at that Michael Strahan sack record, 22 and a half sacks. What are he, 5 short? Okay. Are they going to make the playoffs? It's a long shot, maybe. And then we go to Myles Garrett. Yeah, he's a force. I give you that. Are they going to make the playoffs? No, they're not going to make the playoffs. They had their shot the other day, and then you know what happened.
Against the Raiders, yeah.
Okay, so my point is, in overall impact, even if you want to throw in covering wide receivers downfield, this kid changes everything because they don't see him coming. They don't know where he's going to line up. He might line up over the center of the guard in one of the A-gaps, or he might rush off the edge. Right. Changes everything. He makes DeMarcus Lawrence a force. He makes Randy Gregory a force. He makes
Dorrance Armstrong and Gallimore.
All of them. They're feeding off this guy. So when I have the best pass rush in pro football, that's a winning formula, man. But you have to back it up with the other side of the ball. And I can't believe I'm even saying this right now because on opening Thursday night, I thought the offensive side of the ball was all that I had. Okay, here are my saving grace stats for you, Mr. Sharpe. I want you to please explain your way out of these 2 statistics. As we speak, through 14 games, the Dallas Cowboys offense is number 1 in the NFL in yards gained. Number 1. So how do you justify that? How do you poke holes in it? How do you deflate that? How do you explain it away? Because you can't. They're number 2 in points scored. You can't defeat that because that should say best pass rush, defense that's starting to be brought to a boil, plus number 1 in yards gained and number 2 in points scored. You would say that's a Super Bowl team. Am I right?
I would say that, but I've looked at the last 7 games and I've watched your quarterback, and you're telling me your quarterback has played Super Bowl caliber football? What that tells me about the point scored is that your defense is doing a great job of taking the ball away, either getting the ball into the end zone themselves or giving your offense short fields. So therefore, your guys are scoring. But when it comes to Dak having to drive the football, you've seen over the last 2 months, he has been bad. And I'm being nice. He's been bad. There have been 2 occasions when they're trying to run out the game, and he's turned the ball over and put his teams back in harm's way. That's undeniable. You and others are under the assumption that he can flip the switch. He's never been able to flip the switch. What makes you think he can do it now?
He has been able to flip the switch.
When?
He's had stretches in his career of, dare I say, greatness. Red hot greatness where he'll go on a run and I start hearing MVP talk. I heard it early this year. I heard it early last year. He is highly capable. And I do not think he is a classic Jimmy G choke artist. When the lights get brightest, he actually rises highest.
You do realize Jimmy G has gone someplace that Dak has never gone. The Super Bowl, right?
I don't know how he got there.
Yeah, you do know how he got there.
What happened? What happened in the fourth quarter? They had him dead to rights. It's 20-10 San Francisco.
Would you love to be in that situation?
Mahomes, those 2 straight picks, your homeboy. Really?
Would you like to be in that situation in the fourth quarter with a chance to, okay then.
Yep,
so Jimmy G's been there.
Okay.
Your guy hasn't.
If you got my Dallas Cowboys to the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl and put the ball in number 4's hand, Dak Prescott, we're winning.
You lose it.
We're winning. Every time he's been in the biggest
You're not getting
games,
there, so.
Okay, starting with rookie year against Aaron Bleepin Rodgers at Jerry World. The defense no-showed because they'd had 2 weeks off. They weren't ready for the onslaught, and they fall behind 21-3. And Dak said, I got you. Got your back. And here he came, and he brought him all the way back to 31-all by throwing for 305 and 3 touchdowns. That's a rookie doing that against Aaron Rodgers. He
might have been his best game.
Okay, he went head-to-head with Russell Wilson at his peak, when Russell Wilson was arguably the best quarterback in pro football, in a playoff game at home, and out-dueled Russell Wilson, and they won 24-22.
He outran him. Stop. It ain't no duel.
Okay, well, does it count if the quarterback runs with the ball? Does it count?
Yeah, it counts.
Yes, it does. Okay, thank you.
Okay, then what happened the next week?
Okay, the next week he outplayed Jared Goff. But go look at the QBR. Go look at the QBR for Dallas at Rams out here in Southern California at the Coliseum.
No, I just looked at the score. I didn't have a chance. They didn't put the QBR.
The score was 30-22, and Dak was...
Who had 30?
Dak was heating up and just needed to get the ball back. They would have had to go for 2 to force overtime, and somehow Jared Goff gets loose on 3rd and forever and runs for a first down that killed the clock. Way to go. It wasn't Dak's fault.
Yeah. Why can't... See, this is the thing I have a problem with you. You can't enjoy... You can't let me enjoy and let others enjoy. Okay, the Cowboys made the playoff. You got to go way over to the moon. Why you just can't stand on the ground and look at the stars?
I love this team. I loved it from the start. It feels better to me than it's felt since 1995. That's a long time.
Did you love them when they played the Broncos?
Nope, I did not.
What about on Thanksgiving?
I did not.
You hadn't got over that yet.
Okay. But yet, when you talk about that, I'm looking at their point spreads. Would you believe that against the line, Dallas this year is 11-3, tied with Green Bay for covering the spread.
Tied with who?
11-3.
Y'all don't want to see him.
Okay, well, that's fine. But I'm saying we're tied with him in covering the spread. So whatever the odds makers say, and usually they tilt it a little against Dallas because the betting public loves Dallas. But the point is, tilted spreads or not, they keep covering and covering and covering. So what happened? What are the 3 losses against the point spread? They go into Denver. They're favored by 10 at home. And I told you, they just rolled those silver helmets out there on the field with the stars on the side and said, you guys, roll over and play dead for us. No, they're not going to play dead because they're a really good defensive football team. And all of a sudden, it's 30-0, and then Dak gets back on that horse and tries to ride it down the stretch. You said, take him out of the game, keep him out of the game. Yeah. And he scored 16 garbage points, but it was 30-16, but they still lost the spread, so that's 1 loss. And then they go to Kansas City, and Kansas City is favored by 2.5, and Dak has the ball 12 times and produces a grand total of 3 field goals. 3 field goals. And makes some of the worst missed throws that he's made all year, where he missed Gallup up the rail to start the game. And then he had CD deep at the end of the half that could have made it a ball game, and instead CD can't get the ball. It's intercepted, obviously, because it's woefully underthrown. And CD hits his head on the back of the turf. Whiplash, gone for the next game.
Yeah, we're reaching that dry turkey that they did on Thanksgiving.
I'm there. So they lost that spread, and then they were 7-point favorite against the Las Vegas Raiders, and they just think, we got this, we own Thanksgiving. No, they own you on Thanksgiving, and it's getting worse because you are playing turkey every year on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, when the last time y'all won a Thanksgiving?
I don't know. It's been too long, and we've had a bunch of humiliations on Thanksgiving. That's become my worst.
Going to have one in the playoffs, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sure are.
I don't think so. So those are the only 3 spreads that we lost. So here we go against the Washington football team.
You're in a bad division.
Our arch rival, and we are 10.5, 10-ish, depending on which site you look at, but we're right around a double-digit favorite.
Yes.
And we'll cover that. We're going to cover.
Oh, look at you talking bold now.
We're going to go 12-3. What do you think?
You bold.
What do you think?
Look at you. Oh, yeah, you stand there. Oh, we'll cover that. We'll cover that. Whichever hell you cover.
Okay. Well, every week you pick the Cowboys to cover. You shrug and throw up your hands and say, yeah, they're going to cover.
First of all,
are they going to cover?
Yes.
Thank you.
Skip.
Thank you.
Skip, they're in the NFC East.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You
does.
play who you play. You beat who you beat. Okay. Unfortunately, we're not in the AFC West, or we'd be in big trouble.
You sure would be.
Those 3 losses came courtesy of your division.
Yes.
Right? Way to go. Thanks. Congratulations.
I mean, but you played the Eagles. You played the Eagles twice. You played Washington twice, and you played the Giants. Really? I think the Giants are going to be in line for a new from the ownership down.
Good for them.
It's going to be in for a total makeover.
Good.
Possible quarterback change.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts still scares me to death. I told you he would, and here he comes. And they're going to make the playoffs. Just watch. They're going to figure it out. Yep. So I'm going to leave you with a quote from your favorite author, because you are always quoting Shakespeare to me. You're always quoting Julius Caesar, the play about Caesar's assassination. Yes. So you know it cold. You could probably recite the whole play for us. Am I right? So
I know. Go ahead.
You remember Act 1, Scene 2? Julius Caesar himself is talking about his lieutenants, how he likes all of his lieutenants around him, his inner circle, to be fat and happy and non-threatening.
Correct.
But he looks over at his number 1 lieutenant, Cassius, and he says, Jan Cassius has a lean and hungry look. Such men are dangerous. You got it. Such men are dangerous. What team looks leanest and hungriest to you right now? What
Packers.
Team is most dangerous? Nope, it's the Dallas Cowboys, because they haven't done this before. Packers have been fighting with Aaron Rodgers' divaness here.
And he's still doing all that.
Yeah, we know what the Packers are going to do. They'll probably get back to the NFC Championship and lose another one, because he's 1-4 in the NFC Championship games.
You know what? All that may be well and good and true, but I know who they won't lose to in the NFC Championship game, don't we? Don't we know that?
So, by the way, to finish off the Caesar story, Cassius and Brutus decided, you know what? We're done with this Caesar guy. They assassinated him.
They did.
At 2 Brute, Bruce stabbed him in the back.
Breastband, like, I can't believe
you stabbed me in the back?
He was fighting until he saw Brutus. Yeah. And then when Brutus did it,
Brutus stabbed him in the back and ended his life. Here come the Cowboys. They're going to stab you right in the back.
No, they're going to stab you in the
When you least expect it, you're going to say, you Cowboys did that to me?
That's what you're going to say. I can't believe the team that I rooted for all my life has done this to me again. And I was saying, Skip, I tried to warn you. I've been going through this with you for 5 years, and you will not learn. Did you say your mom said you had a hard head?
Yeah,
okay.
Okay. It took forever for me to come out of my mom. I was the firstborn. She said, you about killed me coming out.
Yeah, right, okay. You about kill me every day with your hard head. Yes.
All I got to say is, Hail Caesar.
Seriously.
Hail Cowboys.
Your day coming.
You make me feel like I need to go back to school and do some research here, because you guys blow me out of the water. No mercy. Well, LA fell 138-110 to San Antonio in the final game before Staples Center becomes Crypto.com Arena. LeBron, well, he had 36 points and Russ had 30, but no other Laker had more than 13 in the blowout defeat. And the King tried to justify the loss afterward by pointing to their undermanned roster, saying, quote, we're just without so many people. We're without our head coach as well. So that's another leader to our group. So it's survival of the fittest. Shannon, will this team even make the playoffs?
We sit here right now, Skip. I just don't see it.
Really?
I don't see it.
Shannon Sharpe says no playoffs for Lakers at this moment.
Skip, let this sink in. They gave up 66 points in the first half. And just to show everybody how bad they are defensively, they gave up 71 in the second half. They gave up 71 points to a team that their best player went 3 of 16 from the floor.
That is correct. DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray went 3 of 6, a terrible game.
Yeah, he had 13 assists, but go ahead.
Skip, they have a guy on the bench. What's his name?
Bates Diop.
Skip, he averages 3.8 points a game.
Correct.
He had 30 points on 11 of 11 shooting.
3 of 3 from 3.
Guys have, because the Lakers are so bad, Skip, and point to one thing. What if the Lakers could correct one thing, what would it be? There isn't one thing. They're terrible at defense. They don't guard the three. They don't shoot the three. They turn the ball over. They're atrocious from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. So if you correct one thing, they're still a bad team. Yep. And I get what LeBron is saying. Well, we got so many guys in and out of the lineup. When you had the guys, you were bad. When Frank Vogel was standing on the sideline, you were bad.
Yep.
You're a bad basketball team. Mm. There's no way around it, Skip. I'm just trying to figure out. I've never seen anything like what the Spurs. How do you have 33 assists and only 6 turnovers? How? Skip, you're moving. It's not like guys are just shooting the ball. You're moving the ball. It just goes to show you how poorly a team is defensively that you're going against, that a team can move the ball like that, and you can't get deflections. You can't get steals.
Yep.
And everybody's like, well, AD will be out a month and AD's coming back. Did y'all see AD when he was in there? Did y'all watch Anthony Davis play? Stop pretending like AD was giving you 30 and 13. He was not. This is a bad basketball team. There's no way around it. And I knew they were in trouble, Skip, after I'm looking at LeBron doing what he's doing in the first half, and the Spurs are getting further and further away. Mm. He had 20 of 40. He had 23 of 45, and you're down 15. Mm. I was talking to Steve last night. I said, you know what,
You're
LeBron?
A researcher.
Yeah. I said, man, LeBron might go for 40 and they lose by 20. Skip, I said that, and I'm just joking.
Okay, but you're on track. That was happening.
Skip, yep. He scored 36 and they lose by 28.
28? They gave up 138 to the Spurs?
To the Spurs, a 12 and 18 Spurs, with their best player not playing well as far as shooting the basketball.
Yep.
But everybody else shot great. He's like, I have an off night. If you Lonnie Walker's going to come in, guys coming off the bench. Skip, you got almost 70 points from your bench.
Yeah.
Skip, when you normally put together a little montage, I just want to show the people at home. I want to show the people 3 plays from my guy.
Okay.
Just pull that, right? Look at this. This is the first play offense. This is the Lakers' first offensive play. That's the Lakers. The first time they had the ball. This is what happened.
Yep. I saw that one. Derek White got it easily. Whoops.
That's the first play out of in the second half.
It was.
That's the first play.
Yep.
So the first play in the first quarter, the first play in the second half. And then they got a 2-on-1. LeBron, they had just made a big move. They coming back. Russ and LeBron. Turnover.
Yep.
Skip.
Demoralizing. No D on your part, but demoralizing from Russell Westbrook.
It's not good. It's bad. The defense is bad. The free throw shooting is bad. The three-point defense, the three-point shooting, they just can't guard anybody because everybody's getting beat out the dribble. And when somebody comes to help, layup. Somebody comes to help, kick, wide open 3. They're a bad basketball team. There's no other way around it. We can talk about, but Skip, they make it seem like these guys that are coming back are just like world beaters. They're not.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to drive home one point that you made. My Spurs, or what's left of them, as they completely reload, rebuild, retool, came in 12 and 18, having shot the fewest threes in the league and having made, of course, the fewest threes in the league.
Right.
Help me out. Your stat sheet says they shot 39 threes last night and they made 18 of 39. Mm-hmm. That's 46.2% of the threes that they shot, they made.
Yeah.
This is very un-Spurs-like, but they're all looking at each other like, they're not going to guard us.
Thank you.
Let's eat. We're at Staples on the final night of Staples. Let's celebrate.
You notice the Spurs did this in the forum too. They closed that out in 99.
With Tim Duncan.
Yes.
That is correct. That was a strike year.
Spurs, y'all.
You love this? Meanwhile, your team from 3 at home, went 5 of 27. That's a grand total of 18.5%. So what do you think is going to happen if one team makes 18 threes and the other team, the home team, makes 5? Bad things are going to happen. You're going to get doors blown off,
and
right?
you turn it over 14 times, and they turn it over 6.
Okay, now to your man LeBron. The weirdest part of this, the most ironic and resounding part of all this is, over the last 7 games, he has scored more points than anybody in the NBA over the last 7 games. Think about that. And it's by a lot. LeBron scored 206 points over the last 7. Dame scored 190. So by 16 points, he leads the league in scoring over that little segment of games.
Right.
7 games.
Yeah.
Your team is 3-4 in those 7 games. 2 + 2 equal no playoffs.
Yep.
It doesn't equal 4, right?
Right.
It's hard to fathom, but LeBron every night will say, I got to do this on offense. So he takes it upon his very broad shoulders. He is LeBron, B-R-A-W-N, and he's attacking more. He's shooting a little better than usual from mid-range and 3. And it's like, I got you, but he inevitably gets through 3 quarters. He just runs out of gas. He's in his 19th year.
Yeah.
He gives you all he's got. He doesn't play much defense because last year he wound up the year ranked 14th in defensive win shares. That's pretty great for a guy in year 18. In fact, it's all-time great. This year he's dropped to 138. He's 138th ranked on individual defense. He doesn't have the juice for it. He's got to save himself a little bit on defense. And by the way, that Bates Diop that you brought up, they often were guarding each other, but LeBron was having as hard a time guarding him as he was having guarding LeBron. Because when LeBron goes into attack mode, it is still very difficult to keep him from the rim or keep him off the scoreboard. Well, where's that getting you? Nowhere. Because it's gotten you to a game under 500.
Because what's happening, Skip, is that LeBron is having to play. Skip, he's playing 20 minutes in the first half, when theoretically he should be playing somewhere between 15 and 16.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
But you play 20 minutes in the first half, and if he normally plays 8 minutes, 9 minutes in the third quarter, that's 28, 29 minutes. So if the game's somewhat close, he's going to have to play 38, 39, 40 minutes. I'm glad Fizz just basically said, hey, bro, come on, it's over. Come on and sit down. And he held him to 35 minutes. But Skip, when have we ever seen LeBron be as efficient as he is, and his teams are getting blown out? Like I said, the days of LeBron being LeBron and can drag guys along with him, Skip, that's over. Because I don't believe he can play any better than what he's playing.
I don't think he can do that anymore. He can't just literally lift a whole basketball team into contention. You can't ask him to do that in this stage and at this age. Now, just before I continue to launch on Westbrook, I want to be fair about this. Obviously, there was no AD last night. You're down on him, but he wasn't there. And because of COVID, there was no Avery Bradley, who's their best perimeter defender. And there's no Bazemore, and there's no Malik Monk, and there's no Austin Reeves, who's become like a closer for you both defensively and offensively. And there's no Trevor Ariza last night, and Kendrick Nunn is still out injured, okay? So my point is, that's a lot of bench at the very least that you did not have, a lot of bench depth. And it's all pretty quality to me. So I'm going to give you that because you didn't mention that at all. Okay, so were they shorthanded? Yeah, they were shorthanded last night.
But Skip, even with shorthanded, I mean, that's the Spurs. And I understand that's a professional basketball team. But that effort, I don't know if I've ever seen a game, Skip, in which everybody had a positive plus minus. At least when you bring the backups in, Skip, you go the other team goes on a little run, and somebody's going to have a minus. How do you have and everybody is plus? I mean, you got guys that got 0 points that are plus 16.
Yep, you do. Everybody's a plus. Well, they won by 28 points. Okay, and look what LeBron had in plus minus. He scored 36 points, and he was a minus 23, which was a game high low, right? The game worst. Minus 23.
I was like, LeBron, I was thinking, Skip, because the way he got it going in the second quarter, I was like, LeBron has to go for 50. And I said he could go for 50, and they still lose.
Okay, so what did I see from LeBron in the fourth quarter? I'm still staying up, and I'm thinking, should I go to bed now?
I was thinking that too. I should have went to bed.
Okay, so after 3 quarters, I'm looking at LeBron, and I'm thinking he's already got 33 through 3 quarters, and he's 14 of 22 from the floor, and I'm thinking that's pretty good. And at that point, he was 2 of 4 from 3, which is pretty good, and he'd actually made all 3 of his free throws. And I'm thinking, is it possible he's just going to go on a tear? So he starts the fourth quarter. And if we could see what happened, he tried 3 threes in a row, or fairly, he ended up playing 6.5 minutes in the fourth quarter. But I'm thinking he's just going to shoot him back into the game. There's the first one. It's way short because he's losing his legs. He's getting tired.
Yep.
There's
Everything you can see short.
Yep, it's short. It's just not up. And then this is the one where Fizdale finally said, okay, that's enough. And it was just wide right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he had those 3 chances, and in between those, he missed his first free throw of the night on an and one, and he missed his second one. Okay, well, it's LeBron or bust, and you're about to bust because the dam was about to bust on you because you got run off the floor even in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the score. It's 33-18.
Skip, they scored 30 points in all 4 quarters. Whew. What do you normally see? I haven't seen it in a while, but you score 30 here. 22, 25, maybe you get another 30, and then, okay, but you get 33, 39, 33.
Okay, but if I told you yesterday at the end of our show when we were saying what's going to happen tonight at Staples,
right?
If I told you LeBron will go for 36 and Russ will go for 30, what would you say? I'd say it too. I thought you would win anyway, but I thought you would win comfortably if you told me that, right?
Right.
Okay, so now back to my man Westbrook. There was one play last night that drove me out of my mind, and it's not the one that you showed. It's not the turnover bloopers. It came with 3:25 left in the third quarter, and there's kind of a loose ball scrum underneath the Lakers basket. I don't know if you remember this play. Melo, no.
Oh, you're him and Rondo?
Russ fights, and Rondo fights, and Rondo sort of comes up with the ball and gives it back to Russ, who and-ones it, you thought. And just goes crazy, throwing his fist, yelling at the crowd.
He tried to get him back in it, Skip.
Okay, you know what? That cut the lead to, what did it cut the lead to? 13. That cut the lead to 13 points. Okay, for me, that is not the time to be throwing your fist and yelling at the crowd because it's embarrassing what's happening. So you should just put your head down and go to the free throw line and make the free throw. And, of course, he Westbricked the free throw.
Skip, I was hoping he would go give us some energy. Okay. I'm like, okay, here we come. Oh, we got the ball. They fighting. Finally, they fighting for the ball, Skip. I was like, okay, we got him now. We got him.
I'm telling you what he was doing at that moment. He was celebrating his putback, his achievement, because he is nothing but a solo act, a stat machine, a triple-double wonder, the eighth wonder of the world. You know it and I know it, but he is not a winning player. It's why he wears number 0 for 0 rings. And to me, that was the epitome of Russ. You're getting excited about it. I'm shaking my head saying, you're really going to celebrate a little putback against the San Antonio Spurs that cut the lead to 13 late in the third quarter? You are kidding me. And to me, I think even LeBron would look side-eyed at him and just say, come on, man, we're better than that.
Man, I watched the guy on the breakaway, Skip. He had a wide-open layup, and the dude missed the layup.
Yep.
That's how I was like, Skip, the Lakers are bad. Skip, look, I done tried to, like, if they had this guy. Skip, this is a bad team. This team is put together poorly. It is.
By GM LeBron?
Hey, he signed off on it.
He did. If
he
not,
signed off on it.
I think he initiated it.
And it is what it is. This is what they got. And I'm not so sure, Skip, I'm not so sure how much better they would be if Andy was and all these guys were healthy. I'm not so sure they're much better because they don't have defenders. Tucker's not a defender. Ellington's not a defender. Russ is not a defender. Rondo's not a defender. Carmelo Anthony, who's Isaiah Thomas defending at 5'6"? Jamario Jones, DJ. I mean, come on. These are guys.
Yep, they're guys. Okay, so you preempted me with 3 of Russ's turnovers, but just for the edification of our faithful viewers, we have to give them our daily dose, our fix of the Russell Westbrook turnover blooper tape. We got to see all 5 of them because he did have 5
This is
more.
the first play.
First play, you're throwing it to whom?
Keldon Johnson.
What's the game telling you to do, Russ? It's telling you to what? He's not open. He's guarded by a 7-footer. Russ, think about it. Think, what? It's guarded. It's not there.
This is the first play of the second half.
Off shoe, out of bounds. He can lose in these shoes, can he? Yep. Russ, what's the game telling you to do?
You know the game.
I think I'm going to. I think I'll do. Whoops. I don't know what that was. Well,
I mean, think about it, Skip. He's in the game, and he's bending over doing this. What the hell you think Laker fans at home, if he's doing that, in the game. What do you think the fans sitting on their couch and the fans in Staples, what do you think they were doing?
Great point. So, before the game yesterday, interim coach Fizdale talked about how in film sessions we're holding players accountable. Young player THT, only 20 years of age, we're showing him where he's gone wrong, and he's coachable, and he's soaking it all in, and we're showing Russ what's happening on these turnovers. And then he defended him. He turned right around and said he had 7 the night before. He said on 4 or 5 of them, players were out of position.
No, they weren't.
Oh, stop.
Skip, let me ask you a question. In Russell Westbrook, in OKC, in Houston, in Washington, how many times do you think the coach has sat him down and say, Russ, I think you're a little out of control here. I think you're trying to do too much here. I think you're too fast here. How many times do you think that happened?
I know 0. 0. He's become spoiled beyond control because nobody held him accountable ever in his career. And it started with those young Thunder when they just gave him his head and his way. And he was Sam Presti's favorite draft pick because he was, even though it's fairly early in the first round, he was still a diamond in the rough because I didn't see it coming. When I watched all those UCLA games, you couldn't see this guy at UCLA.
No. I mean, Kevin Durant was a given.
Oh,
Kevin Durant, he should have never got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant should have went number 1 overall.
Yep.
But Greg Oden, 7 foot tall, big guy. Okay, fine. But Skip, at some point in time, I mean, Fizdale said, what happened, he had gotten them under control. But I guess he felt that he had to do more. What do you mean? We don't need you to do more. We need you to turn the ball over less. Yep. That's what we need. But Skip, look, this one, I'm not even. Russ could have had 0 turnovers. And if they have 0 turnovers, they probably lose by 20. Yep. Skip, this is a bad basketball team. That's what this is. I mean, come on, Skip, look, they got 20 points from their bench. The other team got 69. You're not winning the game like that.
So I predicted 2 weeks ago that Frankie V, as in Vogel, wouldn't make it past the new year. I think the clock is ticking. He might have gotten a reprieve because he's on COVID protocol list, right? So maybe because he's out of sight, out of mind, he's out of harm's way for the moment. But at some point, somebody's going to have to pay for this. You need somebody to be sacrificed.
Skip, even if you lose, there's a way in which you lose that shows respect and dignity.
Yep.
You can't lose by 28 points to the Spurs. If that's a full go Nets team, KD, Kyrie, Harden, after 3 or 4 weeks playing together, and this is the roster you trot out there, Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, they understand that. If that's the Warriors, once they get Steph back, if that's Phoenix,
Clayback,
excuse me. If that's Phoenix, Skip, they'll understand that. You can't lose by 28 to that team.
You cannot, especially on closing night for Staples, in which you trotted out a bunch of Laker legends at halftime.
I thought you'd have had some pride, Skip. Like, you know what? This is the last time. Man, there's a lot of memories in this building.
A lot of memories.
Let's go, baby.
No.
It's kind of sad that was the way it ended. Now, it kind of is. I guess there's too many other good memories.
Jenny, somebody got them tickets, Skip. They go hold on for. You know what? I was at the last game at Staples.
Yeah, no. We don't need those anymore.
I think you're dead right about that.
I
think they're tearing them in two.
Yeah,
I don't want nobody to know I was at this game.
No. Also on TV last night, and all eyes on them in a national TV spotlight, Jimmy G and the 49ers blew a 10-point halftime lead as the Titans escaped with a 20-17 win. Well, Jimmy G threw one of his 2 picks in the second half and also had a turnover on downs late in the third quarter as San Francisco's playoffs hopes may now really be in danger. So, Shannon, you had been big on the Niners as a threat in the NFC playoffs. So how much faith do you lose now in San Francisco after Jimmy G's second half?
Jimmy G was awful. Skip that first interception that he threw to Jack Rabbit. I don't know what he saw. Jack Rabbit was playing outside leverage on Kittle, but he never moved. He didn't expand, and so when Kittle ran the little hook right inside, Jack Rabbit was right there.
Well, he was like the primary receiver. Yeah.
Look at this, Skip. Jack Rabbit, he stares him down.
And that's for 14-0 now, and maybe that'd be a death.
Look at Jack Rabbit.
Yeah.
Jack Rabbit says, "Oh, you throwing it to him?"
Oh, thank you. Yeah. He'll catch it.
That's at worst case scenario, Skip. That's 3 points. You're gonna get 3 out of that. You get nothing.
Yeah.
And then he overthrows.
That was 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line.
So you don't even give yourself an opportunity at 3rd and goal.
No.
And then he overshoots Deebo Samuel. Skip, if you didn't watch the game and you just looked at the stats this morning, you like, Man, Jimmy G was 26 and 35, 333.
Yep.
With a touchdown and two. Like, dang, they should have won. Debo had 9 for $159. But if you watch the game, a game that should have been 17-0, maybe 21-0.
Yep.
He kept the Titans in the ball game. And then the Titans got running with Tannehill. They couldn't guard A.J. Brown because I don't know why they wouldn't double him like they was doing Kittle. Why not double him? Because he wasn't going anywhere else. He was just throwing the ball up to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was rewarding his confidence in him by pulling it down. But Jimmy G cost his team, Skip. Jimmy G, and that, Skip, this is why they went and got Trey Lance. This is why they traded all those.
They traded the sun and the moon. Because
you got a guy that he can't really stay healthy. And when he stays healthy, he makes the most. What are you thinking? Listen, I've known Kyle Shanahan since he was about 10 or 11 years old.
Yep.
I watched him hold a cord for his dad on our sidelines. So I know him. I know how his dad feels about mistakes, especially at that position, because he said you cannot win if that guy, because he touches the ball on every single play. If he turns it over, you can't win with that. Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy G, you got to be the you-know-what. Skip, he cost this team. They should have won this game.
They should have.
They should have won. They had it. Skip, we didn't even show the one where he overthrew Juszczyk. Wide open for a touchdown. He throws the ball out of bounds.
That also would have made it 14-0. It would have been a killer play. Go ahead and show it if we have it, please.
Skip, with no pressure. Skip, look at this. Look at Jimmy.
It's the classic wheel route that nobody covered.
Yes.
Right? This is your fullback wide open for a touchdown, and you miss him by about.
And he got and Juszczyk got great hands.
He does. He's very.
They throw it to Skip. They put him out wide and throw him a slant route. They're throwing stops. Yes.
That's where you schemed it up. Where Kyle had him dead to rights. I got you. I got you.
And Jimmy G's like, I got you too, out of bounds.
So to pile on, can we see the other interception? The one that Hooker got. It's to Debo, just to.
The ball came funny out of his hands.
It was like wobbling all over the place. I don't know.
I'm like, look at this. What is this?
Okay. And then could we please cap off Jimmy G's night by showing the crucial turning point play, which was 4th and 6 at the 40. This is late in the third quarter. This is 4th and 6. And there's the.
This one, the IU.
I don't know if Ayuk sat too fast, but he thought he was going to keep moving.
No, but Skip,
he's wide open. I mean, you got him. Right?
Yes. Put it on him because Ayuk sees the guy. He's throttling it down.
Can you see what Kyle did on the sideline? This is what you just referred to. Look at Kyle on the sideline. He just
Skip, the guy. I see the guy out there. So I'm gonna throttle down. You hit me. Let me turn and get up and get the first down because I'm short of the first down.
Correct. Okay, so 4 plays that he left on the table lost the game.
Shallow.
Yep. It was a very close. It was a nip-tuck game that you should have won. If you make those plays, you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
Or don't make the 2 plays, right? Okay, so here's the case-closing statistic on Jimmy G, and I've never been a fan. This year, when Jimmy G plays a game with no interceptions, that team is 7-0, 7-0 with no picks. When he does throw at least 1 pick, that team is now 1-6. I think it adds up. I think that's all you need to know. Right. That is the nutshell, the broken nutshell of the 49ers season. 7-0 without, 1-6 with picks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's this guy. That's the guy who got you to the brink of a Super Bowl championship. Right. You're up 20-10 early in the third quarter. Mahomes is coming unraveled. 2 straight interceptions he's thrown. And what happens? Jimmy G completely came apart right before your very eyes, right?
Yep.
And he even had the late throw to Emmanuel Sanders that he missed.
Oh, yeah, I would have been forgiven because he had him wide open. If he puts that on him, Skip, that's a touchdown.
Okay, so that's you're damned if you do or damned if you don't. He can get you to the precipice of greatness. Even this year, he's had long stretches. I'm not going to say of greatness, but of very goodness.
Very good. That's good enough to get you to the playoffs.
Correct. And yet, in the end, I was all for. In fact, I gave Kyle and his father and John Lynch standing ovation for going up there to get Trey Lance because I love Trey Lance's upside. I love it a little more than Mac Jones's upside. And I know a lot of people second-guess them for not taking Mac Jones at that point. I've seen flashes already of Trey Lance, but I'm going to remind everybody, he played at North Dakota State, and they did not play football last year except for one COVID-related game, right? Okay, so in the pandemic, they played one game. So he had gone a whole year with one football game, and it was probably unfair to throw him into the fire, but he did get thrown into one fire at Arizona when they were riding the highest. Remember that? I thought he played pretty well. They lost 17-10 at Arizona. His QBR wasn't great. It was 31, but he can run the football because in the time that he's played this year, he's run it 30 times for 137 yards. That's 4.6 a play.
Yeah.
If you give Kyle that other chess piece where the quarterback can hurt you, he's 6'4", 225, and he can run.
Right.
And he has a big arm, and he'll get nothing but better. He's so far 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. I would have closed my eyes and gone with him from the start this year. And you would have had to pay the piper early because he's going to have to figure it out. But I say if you'd gotten him up to speed by now, they would be a better team going forward with Trey Lance at quarterback.
Yeah.
Now it's to the point where even though you got the Texans, but then you have to close at the Rams, I don't know if you want to throw Trey Lance.
No. Okay, they still got outside chance at the playoff, Skip. I think they're going to ride. They're going to ride with this kid.
They almost have to.
Ride with Jimmy.
And the other problem with Trey Lance was, remember, going back to it's about the 5th game, he fractured the index finger on his throwing hand. So I don't even know if he's capable of playing. He did dress last night, and I guess he was the backup, but he hasn't played. He didn't even get the Taysom Hill packages because his finger's been fractured.
I think the thing is, Skip, and if you look at the 49ers defensively, their front seven is really good.
It is.
You look at Bosa, you look at Armstead, you look at guys, but their secondary is atrocious. And the thing is that if the quarterback can stand in there, if they can lock it up, guys are scot-free. I mean, A.J. Brown is doing what he's doing. Those guys are wide. I mean, on third, Jimmy G. Tannehill is rolling to his left and he just throws it.
He did. Hey, A.J. Brown is really good.
He is. I mean, if
he'd been gone for a while.
Got to be able to stay healthy. His back had hamstring. Yeah, he's legit. He made the Pro Bowl last year. Skip, they got Trent Williams, a solid offensive line. They can run the football. Trent Williams, the best left tackle in football.
He is.
It's just Jimmy G. Is that you get these type of games, Skip, and you look at his overall numbers, you're like 322 on 35 attempts, 26 completions.
Yep.
But then you go back and look. He gift-wrapped Tennessee the first touchdown. He gift-wrapped it for him.
That's what he does.
It's hard. It's really, really hard for a team to overcome bad quarterback play. And normally when your quarterback plays bad, you normally lose the game.
Yep.
The days of Skip, we're going to rely on our defense. The defense go do. No, it's hard. And as you go further, it gets harder and harder. But you're going to find out with your Cowboys about bad quarterback play. About bad quarterback play.
You've been telling me, you better beware. Those 49ers just might make it to Jerry World for that first-round playoff game. And I say, bring Jimmy G on. Bring him on.
If they do, I'm still taking them over you.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yeah, I sure
will. Just in case that happens.
No.
Can we bet, what do you want, 5 cases on that? I'll take Dallas right now.
All I'm saying is, Skip, you got your work cut out for you. You might have to see the Rams. You might have to see Tampa, and you already talking about my team. You're not getting through that gauntlet. You're not beating Rams, Bucks, Packers.
I'm just seeing Super Bowl. That's all I'm seeing.
What you see it?
Huh?
Where you seeing it?
I see it in the distance.
No.
I got LASIK. I can see 2015.
Right,
as a matter of fact, I've been driving around. I haven't seen any Super Bowl, anything Super Bowl related put up yet.
Actually, there's a billboard right by Fox driving in.
Is it?
Actually, yeah. So they're getting ready around
Cowboys
here. I just noticed.
I must be coming from a different direction.
No mercy.
So Tom Brady is looking to bounce back after last week's forgettable performance where he not only lost to the Saints, but also lost his cool on the sidelines. TB12 was a favorite to win MVP before the disappointing game, but now needs to generate some buzz in these final games to get his 4th award. So Shannon, your opinion, what does Tom Brady have to do to remake his MVP?
Well, he's going to have to put up numbers, and he's going to have to hope Aaron Rodgers falters, Skip. I was looking at they polled these execs about who's the MVP in 23.
In the Athletic.
In the Athletic. 23 execs voted. Rodgers got 11 votes. Actually, Jonathan Taylor got 8. Tom Brady got 2. Herbert got 1. Cooper Kupp.
Prisoner of moment.
Hold on, Skip. One of the execs in the NFC said, I love not to say he's the guy because he's easy to root against. But
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Yes.
But he's amazing. And that's what I've told you. Yes, he's Skip. At some point in time, you got to differentiate. You got to set your personal feelings about an individual aside and evaluate him on what you see on the field. Since opening day, and it counted, but he's 30 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Put this in perspective. Tom Brady has thrown 11 interceptions this year alone. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 11 interceptions in 39 games. So in almost 2.5 years, he has the same number of interceptions as Tom Brady has this season. We saw it happen last year. Skip, remember when Patrick Mahomes went down to Miami? They won the game. He threw 3 interceptions. And then the last game of the season, they played, if I'm not mistaken, they played Atlanta. And he didn't play well. Aaron Rodgers had like 8 touchdowns over the last 2 or 3 games. He won in a landslide. And that's what you're seeing. Tom Brady's going to have to string together probably an 8, 9 touchdown over the last 3 games, Skip, and hope Aaron Rodgers falters. But if Aaron Rodgers does not falter, he can't catch him because Rodgers is the number 1 seed and his numbers across the board with obviously Brady has more passing yards, more touchdowns. But you like QBR, you like passer rating, you like yards per attempt, touchdown to interception ratio. It's not even close. So Skip, Tom Brady's going to have to throw a Hail Mary and hope Gronk jumps up and catch it.
You know, it's funny what you're saying. Maybe you should take your own advice about setting your personal feelings aside when you evaluate a Tom Brady on the field.
Skip,
is that possible?
Skip, you do realize for a decade I voted for this award. And every guy that I voted for won the award. Most of the guys that I voted for all pro rookie.
You are a front runner. I know that.
It doesn't work like that, Skip. It doesn't work like that. You have to watch the game.
You just pick the most obvious guy.
No, Skip. Okay. I mean, for Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
So was your vote weighted more than anybody else's?
No, it was not. But I'm just saying, Skip, I watched all the games, and that's another reason why I watch the games without sound. You're not swayed by what guys are saying. You can see it for yourself. Skip, it's hard for you to say that if you look at Aaron Rodgers and what he's done with the injuries that he's had, it's hard to say he's not the MVP, Skip.
Interesting. So let me go back to Jenny's question. How could Tom remake his case after that debacle of a nightmare that we saw the other night? Well, there is a record sitting out there, and it's Peyton Manning's record, single season passing yards. Tom would have to average over the last 3 games 377 yards passing. He has done that 3 times this year, gone over 377, and it was in game number 1 against my Cowboys. Then there was a Rams game, and there was the Miami game. Those 3 games, he went over. He went up into, remember, against the Rams, he was 432. So is he capable? Yes, he is. Has he lost Chris Godwin? Yes. Unfortunately, I'm knocking on wood for Chris. I hope he recovers quickly, but that is a horrendously bad injury, and he is gone for the year. Mike Evans is iffy with a hamstring, but our man, Antonio Brown, has returned to save the day for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is now empowered. I fear he will act up and act out at some point because he feels like he's in control now. But the point is, Tom loves him. And the point is, Tom will feature him at Carolina.
He'll get a bunch of targets.
He's going to get a bunch of targets. He'll get, I'm going to guess 10 plus, right? He still has Gronk. He still has various Cameron Brates and Tyler Johnsons, right?
I think Gronk's going to have a bounce-back game after what he did on Sunday night. Gronk might get another 10, 11 targets.
11 targets. He caught 2 for 29. That has to be an all-time low for him on how many missed targets he got. That's 9 missed targets. How can Tom Brady and Gronk misfire 9 times in one game? Well, they did. It was one of those games. So is Tom capable of going for 377 a game at Carolina, at Jets, versus Carolina at home? Those 3 games, yes, he is. Would that help sway? Would that help sort of salve the wound? Would that maybe clear the air of the stench of his tantrums that he threw at Dennis Allen and throwing the tablet on the sideline?
Well, Skip, here's the thing. The question is that you remember last year, Rojo had that breakout game against Carolina.
He did.
When he went 97 yards. He had like 180, 190 yards rushing.
He did.
So are they looking at like, well, you know what, hold on. This is our opportunity because they've kind of gotten away from the run. Yeah, Fournette has had a couple of runs here and there, but they've turned basically into a Tom Brady throw-the-ball team.
They have. So, maybe to a fault. I would agree.
Yeah. So I think the thing is possibly, but I think in order for Tom, he's going to need Rodgers to cool off. And I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
Okay. So let's look harder at that.
Okay.
Tom Brady is still averaging, despite the nightmare the other night, 311 yards passing a game.
Yeah.
Rodgers is down at 268. That ranks 8th in the league. Tom is first at 311.
Right.
Tom's first in yards passing and completions, blah, blah, blah. But to your point, attempts also. So he's just top.
Right.
And the Buccaneers are number 1 in scoring points in the league. Okay, that's pretty good.
Right.
Aaron's offense is 14th in points scored. That's not very good.
Right.
Is that his fault? Well, it's weird to me because Pro Football Focus ranks his receiver the best receiver in football in Devontae Adams.
Right.
Ranks A.J. Dillon the second best running back in just overall grade. And on balls carried, he grades number 2 in the league as a running back. And he's become a little bit of a force for them,
he'll thumper now. Third and short, second and short.
So their defense is ranked by Pro Football Focus, your favorite website, the 4th best defense in the league. Well, Aaron's got that going for him because Tampa's has struggled all year. It just hasn't been itself.
Right.
It's ranked 9th. So look at all the help that Aaron has that Tom doesn't have.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip. If you look at it, Aaron Rodgers is what's helping the defense because we saw the pressure that he put on Baltimore last week. Baltimore was up 7-0, up 14-7, and then Aaron Rodgers go boom, 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 boom.
Against a bunch of practice squads.
And then all of a sudden, it's a, 28-14, 31-14 ball game, and the Baltimore Ravens get back into the ball game. But this team everything is centered around Aaron Rodgers. We saw what they looked like against Kansas City. I feel very comfortable in saying, had Aaron Rodgers played against Kansas City instead of Jordan Love, they win that game. They win that game, Skip, because that was a time in which Kansas City was really struggling defensively.
I would agree. Nope, I got it.
So it's just hard. Since week 1, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 30 touchdowns with 2 picks. Skip, that's something. Okay,
yeah. Last year he won MVP with 48 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Right. So we have 3 games left. He's going to throw 18 touchdown passes.
But Skip, they're not throwing the ball as much as they threw it last year. But if you look at him, he's just as careful with the football. Think about it. The year that you said he had stepped off a cliff, he threw 2 picks. He was like 26-2. And it's like, okay, we need to make an adjustment. He comes back with 48-5.
Okay, but he'd gone 4 straight years in which his QBR and his passing percentage, his completion percentage, had dropped. For 4 straight years, they'd gone down. And that's when Packers management was saying, you know what, it's time to look for the next guy.
Because what people started to do is that they started comparing him to his greatest season. Well, if you compare him to 46-5, every season that he doesn't do that looks like a down year. Even this year, when you compare it to 48-4, it looks, or 48-5, it looks like a down year. But if you go inside of all that, he's been phenomenal.
Okay. In the regular season, he has.
Yes, Skip, this is a regular season award.
I can't defend him in the postseason.
Okay.
Because 1-4 in NFC Championship games is indefensible.
It is, Skip, but MVP is a regular season award.
Okay, I got that. But in the end, I even compare each had 1 terrible game against the common opponent, New Orleans. And yet, Tom's game wasn't quite as bad as Aaron's game.
Skip, because your guy scored 0 points.
Okay, but your guy completed 54% of his passes for 133 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
Right.
Had a QBR of 14. My guy had a QBR of 18 against New Orleans, 0 touchdowns to only 1 interception. And my guy completed 54% of his passes also, but for 214 compared to 133 for Aaron. I think the stats scream that Aaron had a worse game against New Orleans than Tom did.
You know what? But against a guy, when he went on a Thursday night, with his top 3 receivers, his top 2 offensive linemen, and his top 2 defensive players out of the ball game against a 7-0 team, and he won that game. That was Tom's opportunity Sunday night, Skip, with Chris Godwin out, with no AB, Mike Evans out.
Okay, but you didn't get to prepare for it. It happened during the game. He lost Mike Evans, then Chris Godwin, then playoff Lenny. He lost them all during the game. It's hard to prep for that, and there was no AB because he wasn't active at that point.
Aaron Rodgers is this. You read the article.
Okay.
You read what the exec said.
Yeah, they all just they completely overreact to Aaron Rodgers. It's Brady hate. It's Brady burnout. They're sick and tired of Tom Brady. So he has a bad game. Get him out of my sight.
But didn't they say that he believes some of the voters are going to hold that vaccination status and against Aaron Rodgers?
I'm a little surprised you don't.
No, Skip. No.
Because it cost his team.
It cost his team a game. He didn't play, but he made up for it because he won his team a game, a bunch of games.
Well, Tom didn't cost his team any games.
Yeah, he did. He cost him that game Sunday night.
Well,
did you not see it?
Your guy cost your team on opening day in Jacksonville against the same New Orleans team, cost them a game.
Your team,
that's 2 games.
Your guy has cost him more. What I'm about to do with Washington? I mean, I've seen a couple of guys outplay your guy.
Yep. What am I supposed to do with Arizona? Oh, I went in there short-handed. I didn't have anything.
Beat them up.
You know what? They're getting exposed. They're not that good.
Whoa. No, that's not what you said.
Maybe that's what happened that night.
That's not what you said about Kyler when you defended him yesterday about being in the Pro Bowl.
That's not about the team. That's about Kyler.
Hold on. Is Chandler Jones going to the Pro Bowl? Yep. Is Buda Baker going to the Pro Bowl?
Yep.
Okay, then.
All right. And Kyler, I showed you the piece of tape. He throws the ball to A.J. Green that would have won the game, and A.J. doesn't even turn around to catch it.
It shouldn't even come down to that.
Okay, well,
it shouldn't even come down to that.
And that's sports. You always tell me that's sports. It came
Rodgers
down to that, and it was a loss because A.J. Green, a veteran receiver, just lost it for a second.
Rodgers is that dude. Is that dude.
Well, no, Tom Brady is that dude.
Well, not in the regular season this year. He's not that dude.
All right.
And you know, Skip, you know how this goes. You know the better story is Tom Brady 4 at 44. 4 MVPs at the age of 44. You know that's a better storyline.
No. Brady hate undercuts that storyline.
Skip, the media don't hate Brady. There might be fans that hate him. They don't, hold on. The media hates Tom Brady so much they done voted for the guy 5 times to win the Super Bowl MVP. And the media hates him.
Well, you can't not vote for him when he does what he does on the field, right?
I mean, you could have easily given it to a defensive player last year.
Okay, well, they once gave it to Deion Branch in the game against Philadelphia.
They gave it to Julian Edelman.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Okay, well,
it happens.
Brady hate.
But Skip, hold up. How you going to give it to a man that doesn't throw a touchdown and a pick? So he got no touchdowns and a pick, and he's the MVP of the game? I first of all, you know, and I said this, I thought Stephon Gilmore should have got the MVP of the game.
Well, you know what happened? It was yet another fourth quarter game-winning drive by the GOAT. But that's what cinched it.
But the man
is that what you're talking about, the Rams game?
Yeah,
that was an Edelman game.
Yeah, right? Edelman was the MVP. But I thought Stephon Gilmore for the game that he had.
You can make that case. Yeah.
So,
great.
But right now, Skip, look.
I wonder if Stephon will have a big game this Sunday.
He'll be ready to play.
Okay.
He'll be ready to play.
Well, Cam's going to start, but it sounds like your man Sam Darnold's going to get to play a lot.
Why is he my man?
Well, you said he was going to be all that in that draft, and I'm saying he's all that.
There's only been 2 guys that's been all of that in that draft, and one's Lamar and one's Josh Allen.
One's Baker. Yep.
Do you think you can say that and Shannon's not going to catch you?
By the way, we got Baker at Aaron. I don't know. I don't know who else is going to play.
Can we put some do?
No.
You don't want to do what you got?
Who will be rewarded on Christmas
But you never know. You never know what might happen.
You never know.
Maybe by the end of the show we'll change that. No mercy. Tomorrow on Fox, the Browns take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Then catch Colts Cardinals on NFL Network. It is a Christmas Day doubleheader on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. So Dallas has won 3 in a row and clinched a playoff spot with the Niners' loss last night. But now they've got eyes on the NFC East crown. To stay fresh down the stretch, Mike McCarthy has shortened his practices by 90 minutes since the beginning of the season, adding, quote, "You have to practice what you preach. Physical, mental, emotional stress is additive. So you have to handle those things. And it's not just a PowerPoint presentation. The ability to make it flow as part of your work day, I think it's real important." So Shannon, what do you make of McCarthy's late season approach?
Skip, why you put me in this situation?
Oh, no. Just unleash it. Just let it fly. It's okay.
Why does Mike McCarthy want people to think that he's reinventing the wheel?
I don't know.
Everybody is practicing less. First of all, they don't bang like they did when you were covering the league, and even when I played. They don't bang like that. Everything is Skip, they just had 2 weeks ago, they were doing meeting virtually. Mm-hmm. They weren't even at the facility. They were virtual. And when they're at the facility, they're not hitting. They're not putting people on the ground like they once did. And even when you thudded up in the beginning of the season, as you got deeper into the season, you took the pads off. Everybody's doing that. This is not unique to the Cowboys. Somehow Mike McCarthy wants people to think that, man, this is what I'm doing. This is the reason why you see the how our teams playing. If I taking them out of pads, we less practice. Bro, everybody doing that. I don't know why you think, and he's like, you look at my record in December, he's 41-18. And 33-15 of that is between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I would hope if I got two of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play, I should have a good September, October, November, December. I should have a good record across the board, Skip. You got two quarterbacks that's thrown for over 440 yards in one franchise, in one organization. You might not ever see that again. He's had two, he's coached both of them.
Yes.
MVPs. One guy got 2 MVP. Brett Favre had 5 MVPs. He didn't win it under Mike McCarthy, but Brett Favre was the main man before McCarthy got there. Okay, Skip, we get that. But come on, Mike. I mean, sometimes the things that he said comes off as buffoonish. I mean, he's trying to convince people that he's this master motivator.
That is correct.
And that he's reinventing the wheel about this is my process and this is what I do. I monitor the guy's intake and hydration and yada. Bro, stop. Just coach the team.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that they're doing everything. They're doing this. You just stay out of the way. I don't get him. Oh, stress. If you got to practice with your stress here. Everybody's under stress. Hell, you ain't got to be a professional athlete to play for the Cowboys. Hell, there are people trying to get Christmas gifts under stress. They got people that perform at regular jobs. It's under stress. This is not unique to... Man, Mike McCarthy gonna cause me to start drinking heavily. I'm gonna be under stress.
I hear every word you just uttered or spat on Mike McCarthy because he deserved every word you just uttered or spat. I have told you from the start, I love my team as much as I don't love its coach. He mortifies me. He horrifies me. He could be the Achilles heel of this team because he has an Achilles feel for how to coach a football team.
Right.
He got exposed during Hard Knocks because again and again, we saw his motivational speeches before the team in the PowerPoint presentations in team meetings and also obviously before games in the locker room. And they were pathetically lame.
Yes.
They looked foolish to the point of clownish. I hurt for him because I was embarrassed for him. I do think he has some feel for offensive strategy. He has to have some.
Right.
Because there were years when I would hear from people around the league, oh, he's the best play caller in the league. Well, he had the best quarterback, but okay, but I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He doesn't call plays anymore.
Right.
I don't know what he does during games. He's an innocent bystander.
Dan Quinn has complete control of the defense.
Right.
Kellen Moore has complete control of the offense. Bones Fossil has complete control over the special team.
To the point of calling fake punts.
He went to him. Hey, they moved the ball close. It was offside on them. Let's go for 2. Oh, what do you mean? Okay.
Good. Got 2. We got 2. Let's go for 2. He's lost. He's like a spectator.
He is.
He's looking up at the scoreboard. What just happened? Let me see. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm back to this one quote. He says yesterday, emotional stress is additive. Huh? You sound like some coaching guru teaching a coaching seminar.
Right.
Like it's all buzzwords and buzz phrases.
Additive.
Okay, is additive? Okay, so to your point, he's saying that the holidays add stress. Is there some Amber Alert?
Yeah.
They're coming after Mike McCarthy, I'm afraid. I think once they start, you can't stop them.
It is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point is that he says the holidays are stressful. Well, that's like to your point. This is a football team.
Thank you.
Come on. It's a team that has a chance to go a ways in the playoffs.
Right.
It just clinched a playoff berth. And you're worried about the stress that is additive from the holidays? Stop it.
So what was Thanksgiving? Skip their stress. I get it. But there's I get it. You say, well, the family, everybody's coming together. There's sacrifices. You ask your team to make sacrifices by not having family come inside.
Okay.
The greater the sacrifice, the greater the accomplishment. So that's the way it works.
What has been the number one critique of Jerry Jones regimes is post Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
That they have become country clubs.
Yes.
Where the players are spoiled rotten.
They are.
They have the best facilities, and they get treated like princes.
They do.
And they have nothing to show for it.
They don't.
They have not been to an NFC Championship game since following the 1995 season.
Correct.
And obviously the last time they won the Super Bowl. Okay, so this whole idea of 90 minutes less in practice is a little scary to me because I get that you start to wind it down.
Yeah, I don't know those 90 minutes.
90 minutes?
Hell, practice ain't but 2 hours.
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing, like a 30-minute walk?
Exactly.
No, really, 90 minutes?
Right.
Okay, so I may have told you this story before, but I'm going to tell it again because it's my all-time favorite Jimmy Johnson story. It's the first year they got to the Super Bowl following the 92 season. The leader of the offensive line was one John Giesick, who was a veteran senior leader. One of the all-time great quote machines. If you wanted to get the skinny, it's like Shannon Sharpe in the Broncos locker room, go to John Giesick. So I just happened to be standing in the lobby of the Cowboys hotel out here in Santa Monica. The Super Bowl was about to be in Pasadena, and they had practice that day at UCLA. It was Thursday before the Sunday Super Bowl. And I look up, and here comes John Giesick, obviously in civilian clothes, but they just finished practicing the buses that just unloaded. He marches right up to me, and he said, "You will not believe what this blankety blank did," talking about Jimmy. We just went full pads and scrimmaged on Thursday ahead of the Sunday game. And he said it was all out, man. And he was furious over it, but they lived to tell because nobody got hurt. Their feelings got hurt because it just was nobody.
Yeah, you ain't really tried to bang like that, except in the game, Skip. You ain't trying to practice like that.
Okay, but Jimmy's thought was, I'm just going to get them to their peak because he'd already told them, you're just better than that team. You're better. I've watched them on tape. You're better. You're going to win this game, but we got to be on razor's edge here. And you remember the outcome was 52-13. It was a complete wipeout in the second half.
It would have been worse than that had Leon got the ball taken out of his hand.
Yep. Okay. So the point was, there are different ways to pull this off. So Jimmy's saying, I'm not going to wind down. I'm going to wind up, man. Well, again, Mike McCarthy's like running a country club. Emotional stress is additive. We've got to take it easy on these poor men, right? Man. Come on. And don't get me started on what is the one thing that you have to trust him to do? Manage the clock, right? It's as simple as that. That's his only duty that I can see, right?
Well, Skip, maybe he said cut 90 minutes. Maybe I cut 90 minutes when you factor in meeting times and practice. Because ain't no way. I mean, the practice is 2 hours. There's no way they got 30-minute practice.
Yeah, no, I got it.
So I'm assuming he cut, 5 minutes off this meeting and 10 minutes off that meeting and 20 minutes off that.
Got it. Okay, so back to clock management. Remember, there was the near debacle in Game 2 against the Chargers, and they survived it with a 56-yard field goal, took them off the hook. And then Sunday at Giants, if we could see the end of the half, there's 16 seconds left, and there's a pass to Dalton Schultz. And you got a timeout right here. Like you're going to get another shot at the end zone. You got plenty of time. And Dak's looking at the sideline. Is anybody going to call timeout? Yeah, they finally called one at 3 seconds left.
They kicked the field goal.
Because I think Mike had checked out. I think he was thinking we're going to the locker room.
He watching the game, too. I got the best seat in the house. I ain't worried about it.
Do you want me to stop the clock, or do you want to just let the clock run out so we don't even get through?
Man, everybody knows you're supposed to call a timeout and take a shot at the end zone.
It's ABC. It's coaching 101.
You don't let 13 seconds run off the clock and then send your field goal to kick a field goal. You call a timeout, Skip, and you're like, okay, so be careful now, but we're going to take a shot at the end zone. It's not there, you throw it out, then you kick the field goal.
Bottom line, my team is going to have to win in spite of Mike McCarthy. In spite of.
But Skip, why does he think he's like this revolutionary coach or something?
He's just trying to get it back from Hard Knocks.
No, he can't. Let it go.
No mercy.
LA fell 138-110 to San Antonio in the final game before Staples Center becomes Crypto.com Arena. LeBron had 36 points and Russ had 30, but no other Laker had more than 13 in the blowout defeat. So the King tried to justify the loss afterward by pointing to their undermanned roster, saying, quote, "We're just without so many people. We're without our head coach as well. So that's another leader to our group. So it's survival of the fittest." Now joined by First Things First co-host Chris Broussard. Chris, great to have you with us today. But we got to talk about the Lakers. It's not good. What is their biggest problem right now?
Well, look, we all know that Russ doesn't fit, so I won't go there. But I'm going to say age and AD. Age and AD. Now, look, Shannon, you know this better than Skip and I. There's a reason guys don't usually play at 35, 36, 37 years old. And if they are still playing, they're not playing very well. And that's because they don't have the same athleticism. The stamina's not there, so they have to pace themselves or can't play as many minutes. And that's one thing you see with these Lakers. When they play younger teams, bad younger teams, not like good younger teams, bad younger teams, it's all they can do to hang around with these guys and chase them all over the court. And I'm talking about San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Minnesota, Sacramento, Memphis. Now, Memphis is winning games, but heck, Detroit gives the Lakers hell. They've beaten Detroit, but barely. You know, Detroit gives them all they can because they're younger. And last night you saw they could not guard those guys from San Antonio. And not very great players, but they were either able to blow by the Lakers and finish in the lane or at the rim, or if they drew multiple defenders, they kick it out for threes. I think the Lakers' last two opponents have attempted more than 43 pointers because you're getting wide open threes because the Lakers got to give up something. And if they draw defenders, guys are open at the 3-point line. So there's that. Three of the Lakers' four leaders in minutes, Russ, Carmelo, and LeBron, are old. I mean, Melo wasn't a good defender when he was young, and so obviously he's not now. Russ has never really been an engaged and good defender, and LeBron is like pacing himself. LeBron played great, and he gave it his all, but you could see he was exhausted. In the first half, when he scored 23 or 25, whatever it was, he was tired, and he's saving it, so he's not getting out there guarding hard defensively. He can block shots, but he's not really, getting down. It's harder to defend nowadays, at least from an endurance perspective, because now the floor is so spread, you got your center and your power forward out guarding at the 3-point line, having to move their feet. And especially when you play teams that players move around, you got to chase them all over the court. It's not packed in the paint anymore. So that just adds to the problem for the Lakers with their age. And then AD just hasn't held up his end of the bargain. It was supposed to be a smooth transition of AD becoming the best player on the team and LeBron settling into a second role, the second best player. And AD, since they won the ring, hasn't done it. It's as simple as that. Obviously, injuries, but his history is he's injury prone. But when he's there, he's supposed to be with Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic in that conversation for best big man in the league. They're a notch ahead of him now. He's not even in that class right now. So those two things, I believe, obviously you could talk about Russ, but I think those two things are huge problems. And along with the age comes injuries. So when is LeBron going to have a problem in a few weeks? That comes with age.
I agree. The problem is bigger than Russ. Look, yeah, Russ turns the ball over. It hasn't worked, but we all thought it wasn't going to work. Only those guys thought it was going to work, but that's what makes athletes great is because they believe they can do things when others don't think they can. But I agree with you. This roster is incredibly old. It's incredibly slow. And the LeBron days, no matter how well he plays, he can't carry this roster. In years past, in year 10, year 8, year 13, LeBron James playing like he's playing right now could carry these guys.
That's true.
But also, these guys wouldn't be as old as they are, Chris. You look at a team, and it's like they have the third most turnovers in the league at 16 a game. They're the second worst free throw shooting team in the league at 72%. They've allowed 37 more threes than they've made, 6th worst in the league. So you got a team that can't defend. They can't make free throws. They don't shoot the ball particularly well.
They don't.
They turn the ball over at an alarming rate. Well, damn, what else is there to do in basketball? Everything that you're not supposed to
defend. You could defend.
They tell me that. Exactly. So when you turn it over at a high rate, you don't shoot free throws when you get fouled. You don't shoot threes. Skip. And you don't, what? So this is where they are, Skip. And as Chris was saying, They can't guard anybody one-on-one. So the guy either gets to the rim, gets a great look at the rim, or he brings two and they kick him for wide open threes. San Antonio shoots about 12 threes a game.
They are the lowest.
Yes.
And had made the fewest.
And they come into the game like we got the Lakers. Oh, my number's about to be pretty.
Let's eat. They shot 39 threes. That's by far a season high, but they made 18 of them.
Chris, think about this. Their best player had maybe his worst shooting game of the season. DeJounte Murray shot 3 of 16, and they won by 28. Spurs had a guy come off the bench. He averages 3.8 points a game. He got 30. Everybody,
by far career high.
Everybody gets their career high.
Let's eat.
On the bench, off the bench against the Lakers. Therein lies the problem. Yeah, we can beat Russ. It's enough for Russ. Russ is not. I'm not so sure if Russ wasn't on the team, okay, maybe they wouldn't be as high in the turnover category. But the defensive issues are still there. Come on, Isaiah Thomas 5'6". He wasn't guarding anybody 5 years ago when he was 100% healthy. He says he's healthy, and it's a great story. But, Skip, they can't defend. If you can't defend and you turn the ball over, you're not going to win. This is a bad basketball team.
So, Chris Broussard, Merry Christmas to you. And I got a stat for you that I shared with Shannon earlier in the show. Would you believe that over the last 7 games, LeBron James has led the NBA in points scored? That's phenomenal. He's in his 19th year, and he has led the league with 206 points scored. Dame is next on the list at 190. So LeBron, far and away, over the last 7 games, has dominated the scoring in the National Basketball Association. The Lakers in that stretch are 3-4 because, to your point, LeBron just can't sustain it. It's all or nothing LeBron James. And he used to be able to ease into games where he'd sort of find his way. He'd pace himself. You got a hot hand? I'll feed you. I'll get you going. I'll feed the post a little bit. And then all of a sudden, when he felt like, I got this, then kaboom, he explodes all over you, and he might go for 30, but he might get 12 in the fourth quarter to close the deal. And I told Shannon that I stayed up last night, silly me, because they're down 13 going to the fourth quarter. I know the Spurs because I watch them all the time. They're 12 and 18, and I thought they're going to collapse, and LeBron's just going to feast on them. He just ran out of gas. And he tried 3 threes in his stint in the fourth quarter, and they were all tired-legged threes. One was short, the 2 were off. He just ran out of gas. And I don't blame him a bit because he's in year 19. And this team is hard to shoulder because there's not enough. Okay, so obviously you know what I feel about Westbrook. I've thought about this, same thing I've thought back to his Oklahoma City days. He's a disqualifier, so I give you that. It's just game over when you add him. But I still look at this team and I say, now, wait a second. They are old and they are slow. But I look at the players they did not have last night, and I think they're serious new pieces that will help some. Austin Reeves has been a revelation. I don't care what you say. Frankie V has been closing games with Austin Reeves. He'll play the whole fourth quarter, and at Dallas, he played the whole overtime because he's fresh-legged. He's an undrafted rookie from the University of Oklahoma who will D you up. He'll get his hands in the passing lanes. He disrupts. He distracts. He's an irritant. He's Caruso version 2, right? He might be better than Alex Caruso. And who made the shot of shots to win the game at Dallas in overtime? Austin Reeves. What is LeBron? He's already nicknamed him AR-15. Okay. Well, who knew? But you need that kind of youthful energy. Well, Malik Monk, I think he's been a little bit of a revelation.
He closed a lot of games.
Both of those guys got COVID, or at least they're in protocols, okay? I still think Avery Bradley is in his prime as a perimeter defender. He can give you bursts of high-level, in-your-face kind of defense where he's disruptive. And Kendrick Nunn, I've always liked him. I liked him at Miami. He still hasn't played because he's been hurt, okay? If you give me those 4 players, again, you were saying, I'm seeing a team that's going to miss the playoffs. I can't imagine this team missing the playoffs with those 4 players when you add them back into the mix, and plus Anthony Davis.
But Skip,
how much are they going to play?
You're right.
Because,
hopefully a lot.
You got to have, obviously, LeBron and AD. They've used him Melo. Now, Westbrook, I don't think they're going to take him off the court. They feel like they got to close with those three guys.
Okay.
And so at best you would have two of those guys out there.
Yeah, they should cut Russ's minutes, but and I know what would happen if they did. Waves would get made by Russell Westbrook. I wish they'd find a way out from under him. We talked about it yesterday. Chris, is there any way they could get rid of Russ at the before the trade deadline? Would anybody take that kind of money on?
Well, look, and I kind of joke about this, but how many times can you trade Russ for John Wall? It'd be one problem for another, you know what I mean? They already did it with Houston and Washington. I was talking to a scout yesterday, and he brought up, now this is just his thoughts, but the Knicks, all right? The Knicks, they're not going anywhere, right? As they are, they're not going anywhere. Next year, they're not going to be any good. Would they trade for Westbrook just for some buzz? I don't think they will.
Maybe.
I think they're done doing that. But in the past, they've made moves like that where, we're not going to win with Russ, but he'll play hard. Mm-hmm. He's going to put up triple doubles. The fans will love him. We might make the playoffs. We might be as good as we are now, right?
We'll take him.
But we've got a superstar that fills the seats. And then in a year after next season... Right. And after next season, he can go off the cap and you get cap room. That's $50 million almost. But I don't necessarily think that'll happen. But I'm saying outside of like that or John Wall, it's hard to see anything happening with Russ.
But can we agree that THT has regressed? Can we agree on that, Chris?
Yep. I like THT. I think he is a good player with potential. But I thought the Lakers overvalued him. I think we talked about this when they could have got Kyle Lowry.
They could have.
But they didn't want to give up THT.
They did not.
Can you imagine if they had Kyle Lowry now with LeBron
that would work.
and AD?
I know who they could have had. Yeah. It was very disappointed that they didn't make a more serious run at him is DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan really wanted to play for the Lakers. And he would have been willing to play. Can you imagine DeMar DeRozan?
Okay, I've been watching with my Spurs the last 2 years going nowhere. But
Skip, the thing is, imagine when
he's an LA guy.
Yeah, he's playing great in Chicago.
Would he not be a better fit than Russ?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, who wouldn't? At this point, it's hard to say.
Well, hell, you and I would be a better fit.
A better fit would at this point.
No mercy.
Christmas Day, Terry Bradshaw is giving away a house on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. So scan the QR code and enter your picks in the Christmas special contest. Then opt in to the house giveaway sweepstakes for your chance to win. One lucky winner will be announced on Christmas during the Browns-Packers game on Fox. Don't miss out. It's free to play. Best of luck winning that house. So after the Titans defense came up big in last night's win over the 49ers, Tennessee is now 10-5 and find themselves as the 2 seed in the AFC with only 2 more games on the schedule. 10-4, Kansas City is currently at number 1 and will have to win this weekend to keep pace. And New England is right on their tails at 9-5. So Shannon, from what you've seen so far, which team represents the AFC in the Super Bowl?
Well, I think Kansas City, they have the best quarterback of the teams that are right now vying for that number 1 seed. And so I trust him over Tennessee. I trust him over Tannehill. I trust him over, obviously, Mac Jones being a rookie. But I wasn't overly impressed with what I saw last night from the Tennessee Titans. I think that was more of a gift. Give them credit. I know they're going to play hard. I know they're going to fight to the end. And they're going to be in a lot of games because their defense is pretty good. I like their defense. They can get after the quarterback with Bud Dupree and Greg Landry. Bayard on the back end does a great job of taking the ball away. But I believe that Tennessee can do to Kansas City what they did the first time around? I don't. I love the way Patrick Mahomes has bounced back. They still have 2 of the best offensive weapons, 2 Pro Bowl players in Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. It's going to be interesting. Can they get out of protocol before Sunday game against Pittsburgh? So with that being said, Skip, look, I just believe that the AFC goes through Kansas City. Do I trust Wentz? I know what Jonathan Taylor can do. But I'm stacking up. I'm going to make Carson Wentz beat me. I'm going to make Mac Jones beat me. I'm going to make Ryan Tannehill beat me. They're a different team without Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans. They don't look nearly as imposing as they did when they had Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, if I'm not mistaken, is still 5th in NFL in rushes. He hadn't played since week 8.
Yep.
So it just lets you know what type of historic pace that he was on.
Averaging 117 a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that would put him very close. That might have put him over the record.
Might have.
I'm going to say Kansas City right now, Skip, as we sit here today. I'm going to say Kansas City is the team to beat.
You have been riding many bandwagons, but that was actually your preseason bandwagon. You picked the Chiefs to win it all.
Yeah, they went.
You jumped completely off. You gave up on them. You left them for dead. And now you've come full circle to driving the bandwagon once again. I'm
anxious to see how they call the game. What type of game plan does Josh McDaniels have for
You were
Mac
on
Jones?
the New England bandwagon for a while.
I'm going to see, because it's going to tell me a lot, Skip. If they do a number on Buffalo again, Skip, I think they're going to
you'll be back on that side.
No, I ain't going to be back on that side, but I think they sort of know. I don't think they're going to, Josh McDaniels is going to call run, pass on the first 5 possessions like he did last and throw on third down. I think they're going to throw the ball. I think they won't be 3 throws this week against Buffalo.
Okay, the weather's supposed to be moderate, actually, like in the 40s.
Right, which is great for this time of year in Foxborough.
For this time, and the wind's supposed to be like 10 miles an hour, so we're not going to get the gale force winds up in Buffalo, right? So I'm curious to see what happens.
Right.
I think Belichick's going to have to let the kid throw some to win the game.
He's going to have to.
And I'm calling out Josh Allen one more time. I don't believe in him. I keep telling you he's not that guy. Well, you have a chance to win that game because this is the game for them. Right?
Yes, absolutely. They know if they lose this game, you can't win it's hard to win a division against a team that's going to be in front of you that swept you already.
Okay. Back to what I witnessed last night. I tested the home team last night, and I said, do not let that team get a hold of the number 1 overall seed because they're going to be hard to beat in that stadium in 2 home playoff games. And I'm looking at what Kansas City has left. They got Pittsburgh at home, should win that, but at Bengals, could be dicey. And at Denver to close against an arch rival, I don't know.
Right.
Could they slip up and drop one of those games? Because Tennessee has left Miami at home and at Texans. I'm pretty sure they'll win those 2 games.
You think so? Miami's going to be tough.
I don't think so. I think Tennessee will beat them.
Tua going to make you eat the words.
Do not let the Tennessee Titans get that big stud runner back for the playoffs because they say it's very possible.
It's possible, yeah.
That Derrick Henry could be back from a Jones fracture in his foot. But they said he's on course that they're looking at potentially for game 1 of the playoffs. He could be back. Okay, what were our guys talking about on the national telecast last night? Our man Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson, former tight end like you. What did they say during the telecast? You don't hear because your sound is down.
Right.
But they said that all of a sudden Tennessee has added a new piece to its defense that has made the defense. And it's my man, Zach Cunningham from Vanderbilt University, yet another Vanderbilt player. Who knew? They're the pro pipeline for every pro sport.
There you go.
Zach Cunningham had insubordination issues that I do not understand at Texans.
Right.
And the coach of the Texans once played quarterback for my Vanderbilt Commodores, David Culley, and he just said enough is enough. He was late to a COVID test. There's probably more to it than that,
of course.
But whatever. They just flat out whacked him. They just said, you're out. You're gone. And Tennessee said, thank you, Lord. We got him because we need this. And on the telecast last night, Kevin and Greg Olson are saying that Kyle Shanahan's watching tape recently of the Tennessee Titans defense, and he said the most physical player on that defense is now Zach Cunningham, that he's given them new thump life, as you call it, right? So all of a sudden I'm saying, time out. Are you sure not? Hey, that coach can coach.
Oh, yeah. He's tough-minded, yeah.
He is tough-minded. I do, too. I trust him. He's good. That team will give you all it's got, and they hold the tiebreaker over Kansas City because they thumped them.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
They did.
Okay, so I'm saying, are you sure we're not overlooking this team because they're just laying in the weeds there?
They could be, Skip, but the question, I'll agree with you on this. It's going to be very interesting if one of these teams, okay, do you feel comfortable if New England gets that number 1 seed? A team going and beating Coach Belichick in Foxborough. Do you feel comfortable with somebody going to Tennessee? Do you feel comfortable going somewhere with Arrowhead? I feel the team that's the quarterback that could trump all these defenses in their home building is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, I give you Patrick Mahomes over Ryan Tannehill because we've seen that movie before. But did you see Ryan Tannehill last night when push came to shove? If we could see that play late in the game, It's the play of the game. He just said, I got this.
Oh, yeah, he got legs. Yeah, he got legs.
Run.
Yeah.
That's the play of the game for the Tennessee Titans. The offensive play of the game. That's 23 yards straight into field goal range.
Well, you remember on 4th and goal, Skip, and goal against the Rams out here. They ran him on a keeper.
They did. Remember, he played receiver at Texas A&M. Yeah. He was like the number one receiver. So he's got that ability.
Of course, he got better athleticism than you think.
Okay, so do I love him as a thrower? I do not.
Right.
Will he sort of go Jimmy G on you? Yep, he will.
Right.
But again, I'm kind of liking this team to come out of an AFC that sort of hasn't taken any shape yet.
Well, I know one thing. I know I'm not going to let A.J. Brown beat me. So you better double him. But I think getting Chris Jones back, the defense didn't look as good as it had up until because they played the L.A. Chargers last. But Chris Jones was out of the middle. So they ran the football. He's back. The interesting question, Skip, can Kelsey and Tyreek Hill get out of protocol? Because it's going to be very interesting now. McCall Hardman, those other guys are just guys. They're not game breakers like Kelsey. We saw what he did on that Thursday night. We know what Tyreek is.
Yep. I agree with you. And then just quick thought, a quick aside. Everybody gets COVID, and then do we act like, well, they're going to be okay? Well, what if they're not okay?
Exactly.
I mean, what if you're actually sick? Right.
But it seems like the NFL is, I was reading that it was like they really haven't seen spread from asymptomatic vaccinated players.
They have not.
I mean, there's like, we can't definitively say, obviously you can't, but Skip, that's what they're saying. And I guess they're going to looking to shorten the isolation period.
Well, they better.
Or Skip, they're saying that guys that are vaccinated that are asymptomatic will still get an opportunity to play.
Okay.
Because you got, Skip, the last thing you want is come playoff time, an NFC championship game, and a Tom Brady or a Matthew Stafford or something.
I know.
NFL will pull their hair out.
They would. Do not want that.
No mercy.
Dak and the Cowboys take on divisional rival Washington Sunday night. Dallas has won 3 in a row and clinched a playoff spot with the Niners' loss last night as well. But their hopes to make a deep postseason run will rest on Prescott improving his play as the franchise QB has struggled since returning from that calf injury earlier this year. We're now joined by friend of the show, Michael Vick. Mike, it's great to see you. And, of course, Merry Christmas to you. I want to ask you about Dak. What do you make of it? What is wrong with the QB right now?
Well, look, it's been some struggles as of late, Jenny, and, you know, that's typical of any quarterback. I don't think Dak is doing anything any different from any other quarterback in the National Football League who doesn't have a run game. And, yes, there's been some interceptions, some errant throws, and some bad decisions, but you know, I don't think that's affecting Dak. I don't think Dak is not playing at a high level right now. Complemented by a great defense, you can afford to make some mistakes. And you know, when your running game is not clicking the way it's supposed to be. You got Pollard hurt, and you got Ezekiel Elliott hurt. Then things tend not to move as efficiently on the offensive side of the ball. So you got the defense who's playing complementary football, one of the best defenses in the league, and you know, I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day over a great offense. So, you know, he can make some mistakes right now, not peaking too soon. Peak come playoff time, and things will be all right for the Dallas Cowboys. But as of right now, there's nothing wrong with Dak. He's just got to get more into a flow since coming back from the injury.
You know what, Michael Vick? I absolutely agree with you. There is nothing wrong with Dak. This is who he is. He's inconsistent. What you and others have tried to do is that you want to say Dak at his best, this is who Dak is, and then you minimize all the other things, the inconsistency. In year 6, we don't see great quarterbacks have the ebbs and flows that Dak Prescott has. This is what we've seen. When have you seen that from Patrick Mahomes? You think you're going to see a 7-game stretch from Patrick Mahomes that he looks like Dak? You're trying to run the clock.
No, I think we had one.
Whoa.
Earlier?
We already seen that.
Hold on, time out.
Okay, go ahead.
You just told, hold on, wait a minute. Of those 13 interceptions, 7 of them hit his receiver's hand first. That's what, I'm just going by what Pro Football, that's the Bible.
You sound like his mother.
I know what I'm saying, like Patrick Mahomes, that's what Skip tell me. But all I'm saying is that what we've seen from Dak Prescott since he's been in the league, Mike, is up and down play. That's fact. That's not conjecture. That's not innuendo or speculation. Just look at it. How did he look in 2017, 2018, 2019? He got hurt in 2020, but look at his play. Up and down, up and down. And so for me, when I look at it, you say the defense is playing complementary football. The offense is playing complementary football. The defense has been outstanding. Your offense has been terrible. With those 3 receivers, that offensive line, they got 2 players that's going to Canton. And you can't do any better than that? You're trying to run out the clock in Washington. Tell me what Dak Prescott did, Mike. Is that good football? What happens in the playoff if you do that? You're trying to run out the clock and you throw a pick 6.
They're winning games. They winning games.
Whoa,
that's what's most important.
So,
He ain't losing games. They're winning games.
Okay, what happened against the Broncos? Did they win or lose that game? What happened on Thanksgiving? Did they win or lose that game?
Are they 10-4?
What happened in Kansas City?
Like 48 points on Thanksgiving?
Well, hold on. Did they win or lose? Now, you just told me it's about winning and losing. Who cares how many points you score if the other team...
How many wins they got? How many wins they got right now?
10. But what... No,
How many losses?
They got 4. So where are they right now? I'm
pretty
saying
good.
Up and down.
Pretty good batting average.
All I know is this. From what you've seen from Dak Prescott, and I get it. Quarterbacks, y'all got to stick together. Good job, Mike. I sure wish I was the quarterback because I know you have my back. But Dak Prescott has been up and down. That's fact.
So who led the charge for Dak Prescott to make $75 million? This man did. 75. Was that to sabotage
That's the going rate.
Oh, that's the going rate for a guy who's wildly inconsistent.
I tell you what, how many 10 and 24 quarterbacks didn't make the Pro Bowl? Mike Vick, you got 10 and 4. How many of them made the Pro Bowl? Come on, Mike. Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. You got a 10 and 4 team. Why he make the Pro Bowl? Look on the AFC side.
I mean, it's evident that he's not playing his best ball right now. I mean,
actually, he's playing
not
like
playing
he's
Pro
always
Bowl
played.
caliber ball, but
He played like
you
he's
got a
always
defense
played,
on the
Mike.
other side that's playing complimentary football, man. Look, I'd have had some of my best seasons when I had a great defense, and when I didn't, it was always mediocre.
He's a roller coaster, not a merry-go-round. Merry-go-round just doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. Shannon Sharpe, what have I told you about my man Dak Prescott from the start? He can be wildly inconsistent. There are too many times that he plays like the 4th-round draft pick that he was.
Yeah.
There are also times, and they come when you least expect it and most need it, in which he comes up clutch. I think the bigger the moment, the bigger Dak Prescott has shown you he can play. Playoff game against Aaron Rodgers, playoff game against Russell Wilson, playoff game out here against the Rams and Jared Goff and Coach McYay. Big win. He had a winning performance in all 3 of those games, and he did outplay and beat Russell Wilson in a playoff game. So I'm taking Dak to my playoff bank. And I do believe he will snap out of this slump funk that he's in come playoff time.
Why is everybody so sure of that? What have you seen? What evidence?
We've seen it this year. We saw it at GOAT on opening Thursday night. Okay,
Mike just told me he lost.
Okay, but he almost did enough to win the game. Did he not drive them 60 yards for what looked like could be the game winning
field goal? So we do it almost now?
Well, I told you that was a moral victory. Then Carolina came in undefeated, hot, with one of the best defenses in pro football, and Dak did a huge number on them.
Sam Darnold.
And on Sam Darnold. Well, you love Sam Darnold. You love him going into the
don't.
draft. Okay, I don't.
Okay.
But again, against that defense, that was a big-time performance. He annihilated the Atlanta Falcons, once led by Michael Vick. But
really?
He did.
Really, Skip?
Okay, but again, they came in off a 27-25 win at New Orleans, and that was a pretty. But that looked like a breakthrough for the Falcons. Am I right? Okay, and he did that. He is highly capable of big games at big moments, and he actually, against the Giants, he put up pretty big numbers the other day.
Is he highly capable of small games? Is he highly capable? Because see, y'all keep telling me he's highly capable, but he's also highly capable of what?
10-4 is what he's capable of right now in a home playoff game. Okay. And again, my team has actually been the best on the road. And did Dak Prescott not walk it off against Belichick's defense up at New England? He threw it to CeeDee Lamb, and the game was over.
And when last time we saw that?
Well,
when last time we saw that?
Well, he got hurt on that.
That was tremendous hurt. No, stop it.
Yep. And he's been hurt.
Is he hurt now?
Well, he's coming off what was career-threatening ankle surgery.
No.
Maybe he's just getting his groove back.
You just told me now. You just hyped the man up. First game, that was a moral victory. Did he come off ankle surgery in that first game? Did he come off ankle surgery against the Chargers?
He actually came off some shoulder strain. that kept him out the whole preseason.
Everybody got something. Skip, don't do that.
He's got about 3 things going on. And you know what? He's about to snap out of it. I saw signs. His QBR against the Giants was his 3rd best of the year. So maybe it's
the Giants
to really.
Yep. And the Giants about to clean house.
The team you liked in the offseason.
No, I know you gave me all 3 of them. I like the combination.
Yeah.
All of them stink.
They all stink, and they all lost you 10 cases
I'm gonna
of
get
Diet
it back.
Mountain Dew.
Guess what? I get it all back during the playoffs.
Really? I don't think so.
I think so.
Game 1, I'll take 5 cases on game 1 of the playoffs right here, right now. No. I don't even know who the opponent is. I'll take 5 cases.
Nope.
Well, I'm giving you a chance to get half of it back.
I will get it back. I'm gonna methodically get it back because I know 2 teams you're gonna bet on. You're gonna shove it all to the center of the table.
Okay.
And I will get it all back.
All I know is that the great Michael Vick believes in Dak Prescott.
Man, Michael Vick believes in the tooth. He believes in the tooth fairy.
Michael.
He believes in the Falcons. He think the Falcons gonna make the playoffs.
Regardless of what, Dak still got 25 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. That's a good batting average. That's pretty good. If
he
you
got
ask
how many?
me. He's 25 to 10 touchdown to interception ratio.
Man, with that offensive line and with those receivers, that's all he got.
I mean, it could always be better, but look, it ain't the opposite way. It ain't the other way around.
That is true.
It ain't 10 to 25.
Thank you.
We'll be singing a different tune.
Your day coming. I want you to come back out. I'll see you in the playoffs, Mike.
Your day coming.
Mike, thank
Your day
you for
coming.
joining us.
I can't wait to the playoffs.
No mercy.
Celebrate Christmas with a boom. Fox Sports proudly presents a documentary tribute to one of football's most beloved figures, the coach, the broadcaster, the video game, all Madden. Premieres tomorrow, 2 Eastern on Fox. I have really been looking forward to this, and I cannot wait for the interviews. Shannon, Madden's legacy has had such an impact on the NFL as a whole. What does John Madden mean to you?
Coach Madden showed up. It was a big game. You know you had everybody's undivided attention because he and Mr. Summerall would not show up unless it was the game of the week. And so, Skip, he's the gold standard when it comes to color guys. There are a lot of good guys now that do this, but Madden is it. He was the guy that gave you the sound effects. He was the guy that was circling. The guy was sweating, and the boom and the bam. And, Skip, guys wanted to make the Pro Bowl. Guys wanted to make the All-Pro team, but he had a team, and he called it All Madden. Yeah. And one of the highlights of my career was me making it with my brother. Yeah. If you got that T-shirt, you got that leather jacket, and he used to give out big old trophies that weigh like 20 pounds.
So this is beyond Pro Bowl.
This is, yeah, man. Because if Coach Madden think I'm the guy, I'm that. The all-man team, Skip, and when he called your game, you knew you were on the big stage. There was nothing like it. You knew you was getting everybody's shot because everybody that came to visit or you were going there, they talked to him too. And they wanted to show out also. He's it. And Fox became a sports network other than a news network when they hired him and paid him more than what Michael Jordan was making.
That is correct.
That's what they thought of him. And they ain't looked back, and Fox ain't looked back as a sports, as a network since.
I agree. So I had the privilege and the honor of getting to know Coach Madden and especially getting to know his partner, Pat Summerall, who simply had the greatest voice in the history of television.
He does.
That voice alone brought games to life and gave them magnitude. Yes. I also had the privilege of covering Coach Madden when he was actually a coach. And this is for all those younger viewers out there who only know Madden, from video games. Listen, John Madden, I spent a week with him and his team back in 1977 when they were the Oakland Raiders. He was the greatest coach in Raiders history by far. He went 103, 32, and 7 as the coach. Think of that, 103, 32.
He only played coach like 10 years.
Yeah. And they did win Super Bowl 11, 32-14 out here at the Rose Bowl over Fran Tarkenton and the Minnesota Vikings. But he was 9-7 in the playoffs, and he was very good because he created the first intimidating football team that we ever saw. I'm talking about badass football.
Yeah,
This was the Oakland Raiders. All that Raiders mystique came from John Madden coaching that team. And the greatest description of Coach Madden was he looked like an unmade bed on the sideline. He even wore a sideline pass on a string, and it was always flapping in the wind. he had no style to him, but did they ever have substance?
Back then, Skip, they didn't have team gear on. Mm-hmm. He was dressed in polyester pants. He had a collar shirt, short sleeve.
And half the shirt tail was out, and it didn't matter because those Raider teams were some serious business.
It didn't matter. You're right, Coach. Al Davies used to say, just win, baby. Mm-hmm. It didn't care what they did the night before the game. Just show up. They had teams that would not. Jack Tatum, Ted Hendricks, those guys, Skip, they had John Otis Sistro. They were loaded with mean, bad guys.
Right. And now Coach Madden is a wine impresario in the Bay Area. Yeah. He's done just as great in that field as he did as coach and the video game.
Most people just know him from Madden.
Yep.
The video game skills. He's much bigger than that.
Of this. Just the interviews from the previews alone have me excited. I cannot wait to watch. This will be awesome. So be sure to watch tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern with us, immediately followed by Browns-Packers on Fox. Thank you guys for sharing those stories.
No mercy.
Dallas is wishing for a division title for Christmas this weekend. The Cowboys can clinch the NFC East with a win or a tie against Washington, or they can also get it with an Eagles loss or tie against the Giants. So, Shannon, when we return on Monday, I'm sorry to bring it up, will the Cowboys have won the East, and will you Skip those 10 cases of Diet Do You Bet before the season?
I will skip those cases when we come in on Monday. But in 3 Mondays, I'll get some of those cases back.
Some back? Not all back?
Well, if you want to bet it all, if you want to roll it down and say...
I'll double down.
Oh, you going to double down to the playoffs?
Give me an opponent. Give me something to bet on.
You'll have one in 3 weeks.
So you have conceded.
Yeah,
I love that. Okay, because we are going to beat our arch rival, the Washington football team, 30-10 on Sunday, and it will be over for you. You took TF the field. I gave you the whole division, and it did not matter.
And the whole division sucks, and you know it's
We romped and we stomped.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And you proud of that? Mm-hmm. You won the worst division in football, and you proud of that. You over here celebrating, boasting.
I'm going to be prouder of winning 2 playoff games.
You're not winning 2.
We are going to win a home game and a road game, and then who knows? I don't know.
So in other words, you're saying you're going to beat Tampa, you're going to beat Green Bay, you're going to beat the Rams, you're going to beat one of those teams in their building. Is that what you're telling me?
Bring it on. Whoever it is, we got it. We'll go there. We'll play anybody, any place, anytime.
Those Diet Do Bets,
they
always matter.
I'm going home right now because it's Merry Christmas time.
Monday should be interesting for all of us. Happy holidays from all of us at Undisputed. Thank you for hanging with us. Have a safe and happy holiday. And right now, The Herd with Joy Taylor, Alex Curry starts now.